Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.
Good morning, third graders. My name is Mrs. Nix, and I am so excited to be with you here this morning as you become amazing thinkers, readers, and writers. So I was just looking at one of my favorite, I was going to say authors, but you know what? It's actually my favorite illustrator. It just so happens that I really enjoy this book too. I know I've shared Dave Catrow with you before, but he's one of my favorite illustrators, and I have so many books, but this happens to be an amazing story. This one's by Alan, and I'm not sure how to say his last name, Zweibel, maybe? But this one's called Our Tree Named Steve, and it's the life cycle of a very, very dear tree with this family and all of the different stages that it goes through and how it affects their family. But you can learn so much from it. And I feel like in fall, we're always talking about how things change. And if you want to check out a book like this and find out how this tree affected this family, you can do that by visiting your local libraries or going online and checking a book out through Sora. Now remember, in Fresno Unified, we've been kind of tracking some of our the schools with the highest amount of checkout through Sora. You're going to see back here behind me, there's a poster of all of our top 5 schools from last week. So great job, you guys. Keep checking out books. If you would like to have one of your books shared with your peers on PBS, you can just drop me a note and tell me what the book is and why it's your favorite, or maybe tell me something that you're learning in class or that you've learned here on PBS. I'd love to see a note. You can send it to the address that's here on the screen. And if you do that, I will make sure that we put in the mail for you a really fun activity book. Looks just like this, or you can choose any of the others that are down below. Now, the last little bit of information that I want to share with you today is that we've been talking about it all week. It's coming up on Wednesday, November 25th at 7 o'clock. There's going to be a Valley PBS Family Circle Fall Festival. It's at 7 o'clock p.m. and there's going to be a lot of fun learning that's going to happen. And you've got Mrs. Readwright is going to be there to help you with some arts and crafts. You're going to be able to learn how to bake pizza, and you've got some awesome folks from Fresno State that are going to help you learn how to do some very cool science experiments. And so we look forward to seeing you here on Channel 18 at 7 o'clock on Wednesday the 25th. All right, third grade, are you ready to start today? Okay, let's get our brains all nicely warmed up by looking at and practicing those high frequency words that we've been looking at all week. I know that you guys have been practicing them at home and you have got them down. So let's go through and let's read them together. Here we go. More, most, look, long, man, many, may, me, make, and made. Good job, third grade. So today we're going to look at these two. We've got may, M-A-Y, and me, M-E, and let's use these in a sentence. I've got 2 of them. Now I want you to read them at home, big and loud. Here we go. Want to come with tonight? And try the second one. She want to go too. All right. So want to come with, what do you think? Yes, want to come with me tonight? She may want to go too. She's not quite decided yet, right? Okay, all right, third grade, let's go through and look at some of the things we're going to practice today. Now, I've got 3 things we're going to go through. We're going to look at R-controlled vowels, contractions, and synonyms at the end. So let's start with those R-controlled vowels. Specifically, we're going to look at I-R, E-R, U-R, and E-A-R. They all say I brought my shirt sound spelling card to remind me of that sound. Okay, so when I look at IR, I know that IR says like in this word here, firm. Good. And I know that ER says like in this word fern. Are you sounding it out at home? You guys are doing great. We've got UR that says like in this word nurse. Good. And EAR says like in this word early. Excellent job. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about contractions. Now, contractions are when you take those two words and you when you put them together to make a single word. So we've been talking about it this week, and I know Mrs. Hammock does a really cute trick with her karate chop, and Mrs. Vang talks about her car crash, and they hook together with that apostrophe. All right. We're in 3rd grade, so we're going to do something just a little bit different. We really want to focus right now about understanding what the words are and what they mean, both when we're looking at a contraction and when we're looking at the two words. We need to be able to go back and forth. So I've kind of switched it up a little bit today. Today we're going to look at the contraction and we're going to break it apart into the two words that make up that contraction. Okay, so help me out. Look right here. We've got the word didn't, and so if I were to pull that apart, what would be my two words? Now, I know that that apostrophe is going to go away, and look right here, I'm going to open it up, and I've got this O that's going to pop back out, and now I've got two words, did not. All right, so let's go through and look and see what words would make up these different contractions. So I've got this contraction, it says that's. So what do you think that second word is? If we know that we've got that, what would be our second word? Can you think of it? Yeah, is. That is. So when we see the contraction that's, we can be thinking to ourselves, that is. It's a good practice to think about what those words are. How about hasn't? Hasn't. You know what's a big clue? We did this one over here that has followed that same rule. So we've got has and great, has not. Okay, now here's where it gets tricky because look, I've got two contractions that look the exact same, but you know what? It can be two different words. Now we know that they both have he in their word, so I'm gonna put those both there so we can see them, but sometimes an apostrophe D can mean he would, but what else could it also mean? It can also be he had. He had. Okay, what does that look like? Well, I have two sentences right here, and I'm going to put he'd in both of them because it'll work. So he'd go again later makes sense with what two words? He'd. So he would go again later. Good. And then this he'd been to the store twice already. This he'd means he had. Good job. Okay, so let's talk about what some of this might look like when we go through and we are practicing it. Ooh, I don't even think I need a pen. I've got all of these right here. Okay, so help me out. We're going to go through, we're looking for words that have that R-controlled vowel that we were looking at earlier. We're going to put an X on the things that don't have that R control. So let's kind of read through them. Do we see them? So what's this word? Nurse. Good. Okay, so nurse has the sound. And how do we spell nurse? What letters make the sound? You got it. U-R as in burn. How about herder? Herder. All right. So what do we see? E-R as in fern. Do you see how we're doing this? How about learn? What letters make the in learn? That's right. E-A-R. How about preserve? Preserve. Good. It's got the E-R. How about stretch? No, it doesn't. It doesn't have an R control. Good. How about whirl? Do you see it? I-R. See how we're sorting it? Good. Third. Yep, right there. Early. Yep, it's got that How about Thursday? You guys are getting so good. Roughly? Ah, see, thought I would trick you. All right, emerge. Emerge, yes, it has that ER. And how about freezing? Nope, good. How about birdhouse? You got it. So let's move birdhouse over here. And curve, yep, it's gonna go here. And earning. Nicely done. We did a whole bunch right there. Good. Let's go through and we're going to read just a couple of sentences right here. It says, read the sentence and underline the contraction and what are the two words. So he isn't going to the national park today. So isn't, what two words make isn't? Is and not. Excellent. Let's do one more. We'd like to help clean up the beach. What two words? Yep. That's one of those tricky ones. It's going to be we would like to help. Excellent. Okay, let's do our last little bit of learning today. It's all around synonyms. Now remember, synonyms sound like cinnamon. That reminds me of something really yummy that I love to eat. And I know that synonyms start with the letter S. And so that it's going to mean that those words are something that are about the same. Here's some examples. Scared is about the same as saying afraid. And neat is about the same as saying tidy. Your room can be neat and tidy. I hope that your room is neat and tidy at home. Okay, I have right here a couple, or I have a sentence that I want us to go through because authors oftentimes will give us a little bit of a clue as to what they're trying to say, especially if they come across a word that you're unfamiliar with. They'll give you some context right here. Help me out. So, Zebra was young and brave. He was fearless and handsome in his pure white coat. Okay, I bet that you know what brave means, right? And that's okay, because it's about the process. But if I were looking in here, can I find a synonym in my sentence for brave? What's another word that the author used that would tell us brave? You got it right here, fearless. Good job. So I have two different ways that we might describe fearless. You could say filled with courage or worried. You got it. Filled with courage. Okay, so third grade, I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me as you're getting ready this morning for school. Remember, you're responsible for your learning success. So listen, ask those questions, and share your ideas, because together we can do so much more. Have a fantastic day, and remember to always try your best. I look forward to getting your letters in the mail. You guys have a great one. I'll see you back here tomorrow on PBS. Bye-bye.
Good morning to a brand new day. Time to learn and games to play. Learning things is so much fun. Learning is good for everyone.